No, that's lame. That's not lame, actually. My wife has to deal with them. No, Kate. It's only lame because we have no data to base it off of. I got something I think can generate, and plus it might not be bell-shaped. Depends on where they collect their candy. It's in Northwest Crossing. Is it my ghetto neighborhood? I mean, it's all different. It's all different. Here's one. To the nearest 5 pounds. Set the mood lighting. Guess my weight to the nearest 5 pounds.
165.
Write it down. Write it down. Because I want everybody's. You didn't hear what Megan just said.
Dad has been corrupted.
Guys, Dad has been corrupted. She didn't give me a chance to say not out loud. Write it down. Nearest 5 pounds. I'm not saying that because we're going to estimate that next. How should I stand? Up and down like this? Okay. Shoes on, shoes off. Does that matter? Probably doesn't matter. Does it? Scouts.
Yeah, can we come with you?
No. Well, from your seat you can. I'll walk back and forth.
Not quite.
My curl rule. What's your total for exercise, Natalie Carter? We're going to answer that next, so I'm not going to say that right now. Okay. Nearest 5 pounds. I'm curious to see how your guys' data stacks with yesterday's class's data. I'm curious. And I'm curious, well, we'll come back to that too. Anyway. X, Sean's weight. You guys have some numbers for me? Yes. Awesome. 31 C's. Let's see, I heard 165. Anybody go below 165?
160.
160, anybody go below 160? Okay, so 160 is a low ball. So we'll go 160, 165, 170. We got any 175s? Yeah. Just say yes and get it. 180s?
Yeah.
185s?
Yep.
190s? Anybody above 185? Much less variation in the last class. Last class was 140 up to 185. But I think I know why. I know why.
You talked about the BMI though earlier, so you're.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking how I was dressed yesterday.
Yeah.
I dress extraordinarily baggily, usually. Not what
This free flow.
Yes. So it's hard to kind of get an idea of what I look like most of the time. State of confusion. Yes. Good. So anyway, how many 160s were there? 160s. We got 2 160s. We just have 3 back. No, just 2. 165s. 4, 5. Looks like good. 170s. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 175s. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
180s.
Remember when you talked about BMI?
I did talk about that, didn't I? Did I mention my weight?
Like, I'm heavier than everyone thinks.
Well, I said I'm almost considered overweight by BMI, but I don't remember saying my weight then, though. I could have.
You did.
Okay, but without knowing that, you have to know my height and weight to know my BMI.
150.
How about 185? We got at least one 185. Okay, good. Is that 1 or 2? There's 1. Okay, let's take a look at our data. This is much closer to a bell shape than the energy drinks were. Much closer to a bell shape. We can do it both ways. Okay, so let's fire this up. Sorry, Jared. Come back to you on Tuesday as well. All right, stat.
Especially the fact that went to Jared's and it will be X amount of views. A little bit.
Well, that's motivation now, isn't it?
Yeah.
160, 165, 170, 180, 185.
No.
2, 5, 7, 9, 2, 1.
Yeah, does your hair count towards your weight?
Yes, it does, when you've got this much of it. Now, I did wash it today, though, so it lightens it. The dread has some mass, though. I think it has its own gravity, actually. So the first thing I want to do is take a look at this. And you know what? Let's turn 2 graphs on. No, you know what? Turn 1 graph on for now. Just a histogram to get an idea of shape. Just a histogram to get an idea of shape. So second, y equals, plot 1 on histogram, x list L1, y list L2, not L5. Good? Take a look at it. Zoom, 9 for zoom stat. I'm going to finagle a smidge, but I'm pretty happy that I would call that a bell curve. It's a small data set, so it's going to have Natural variability, Jack's going, it's kind of skewed. You're right, it is skewed. But with a small data set, you accept more variability. You do. And if you watch, this is why I encourage you guys, even if you were already past the variability homework, the video I posted about 68, 95, 99, you can see that until you get up into the hundreds of data points, the bell curve really doesn't level out to a bell curve. It takes a while to get to that kind of perfect symmetry. I'm going to mess with the window 160 up to 190 by 5s. As I hit graph at that point. Okay, there it is. This is pretty much exactly what your histogram is. Yes, it is skewed. It is a tad skewed. But I'm going to call that bell-ish enough. Now, if you want to contest that, that's totally fine. One of my favorite out-of-class exam questions or quiz questions is, here's a data set, find the outliers any way you want to, just tell me why you chose the way you chose to do it. Your choice. If you look at that and say it's bell-shaped enough, go for it. If you look at it and say it's not, we'll do it a different way in a minute. Fair enough? Let's say it is. And let's use that 2 standard deviations that Hattie and Ronald were pointing out before. In order to use 2 standard deviations, we need to have 2 standard deviations. So what I recommend us doing is doing 1-bar stats on L1 and L2 and getting these values. You guys guessed an average of 171 pounds. I'm actually 175 plus or minus a couple pounds any given day. Nice work. Yesterday they guessed 161 pounds. And I wonder how much of that, and there's plenty of different, I wonder how much of that is the close. I wonder. I don't know. Yeah. Because I usually get underestimated. You're the first class to guess anywhere near close to what I weigh. Yeah, seriously. You're the first class to get within 10 pounds.
Have you talked about the BMI in your other class?
You're like 170.
I could have. These tangents we go off on that are all related, I don't know if we did or not.
Yeah.
Because you guys make, I mean, the caffeine and energy drinks, that just came up because I sat in a class yesterday afternoon. So I don't know what we talk about in the other class.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same basic idea, but the data sets can vary widely.
Because I mean, I guess 175, and the reason why is because I know
Because
BMI.
you know about BMI, but I wonder how typical you are in that knowledge, Kate. You might not have pulled the data set that way. I don't know. You guys did a pretty good job, though. Well done. Standard deviation is about 6 pounds. So in order to set up a range of standard deviations, we would have to add and subtract 2 of those from 171. I'm going to show you something that I showed you in a quiz a few weeks ago. Maybe last week, I don't remember exactly. All these variables are now stored in your TI. And if you want, you can go to the VARs menu, go to Statistics, select 2 for X bar, and although it says X bar, your TI is actually storing the value 171 right there. And then you can go plus 2 VARs, statistics, 3, and that's what it's equal to. That's what it's equal to. So 2 standard deviations added to X bar would be 183.5. So whoever said it was 185, that would be an outlier. That would be considered an outlier guess because it's above the cutoff of 183.5. Does that make sense? Let's do the other way too. And the beauty of that is you can just press second enter and change the plus to a minus. Oh, in case if this is going too fast, 3 resources you can use to figure out what I'm doing right now. Number 1, the variation quiz from either last week or the week before has all these steps buttoned out for you. Number 2, the variation homework, I want to say it's E2 or E1. I can't remember which one. That PSSC, I made some videos for PSSC. I walk you through it in there too. Resource number 3, the video we are currently making right now, will be on there as well. Okay. And then you just change the plus to a minus, press enter. Did anybody guess below 159? Nope. 160 was the cutoff, which means the 160 through 180 would be within that 2 standard deviations. The 185 is an outlier, but barely by this definition. There you go. So fairly typical data. Fairly typical data. 95% of it traps within 160 to 184-ish, somewhere in there. The 185 is barely an outlier. There. That's one way to analyze outliers. Second way, could we do this? Of course we could. Of course we could. One way to do it is to do the 1-bar stats again. But an easier way to do it is to turn on another plot. Plot 2.
Do it as a block.
Yep, and do it as exactly. Box plot, do it modified. If you pick choice 4, Megan, yeah, box plot in general will get but then you have to do what Skylar was saying with the hand thing when I was doing in class. If you do modified, if they're there, it'll show them to you. They'll actually pop up like they did on our board over here. And you got to change your frequencies to match it, L1, L2. This is why I didn't want to put the energy drink data in, because you have to enter all these things in your... Terrible. Terrible. Cool? Here we go. You just hit graph at this point. There's the box plot. I'm going to finagle the window a smidge to get the box plot off of the histogram. Raise Y max to 15. Maybe change Y min to 0 too while we're at it. There. Any outliers by the IQR? No. The 185 is within that 1.5 IQR calculation. And this often happens. You won't always get outliers that are the same in both methodologies. And that's okay. These methodologies are created by people. They're not physical laws like probability. I can't wait probability next year, or next week. Probability, we're going to shift the gears back to probability and statistics linked up. That's when the laws of large numbers kick in and things just happen. They're not defined, they just do. I can ask a question, what does it mean when you flip a coin, it's a 50-50 chance of getting heads? I don't have to go ask some PhD statistician to define that. We just take a bunch of coins and flip them and we'll see what it means overall average. So that's where to start next week. That's what I'm excited about for next week. But these definitions of outlier, 1.5 IQRs, 2 standard deviations, they're just that. They're just definitions. And as such, they don't always agree with each other. They don't always agree with each other. There's other ways too. We'll talk about other ways next class. But I want to send you home with one data set to think about. Guess my height to the nearest inch. Get the shoes off for this.
No.
Height to the nearest inch. I haven't told you this, correct?
No.
Good. Don't say it out loud. Don't say your guess out loud.
With or without your hair?
Well, I let it down, so I took it down to their class yesterday. I took it down for them yesterday. I'm going to stand back up.
Can I stand next to you?
No.
Oh, wow.
There.
Will you stand by a door?
Wow.
Want to stand by the door? No.
That's like, do you always wear shoes that heely?
What do you mean? They're Doc Martens. They're from England.
How do those compare to your normal shoes?
They're actually the same because I wear Doc Martens to class. I'm also wearing Crocs.
Yeah, you were Crocs.
But the Crocs tend to smush.
I wish I could have seen you biking in Crocs.
Oh, it's online. I put the video online.
Yeah.
From Math 105 yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually got in trouble yesterday for that. I was riding back up the loop road with 105 and the campus shuttle passed me. So I went and caught up to it and then grabbed the bumper. And I got an email 4 hours later. It's been an incident report. Please leave the Back to the Future antics at home. Yes, sir. Okay, you got some data? Sorry, sir. Sorry. Okay, these are very slippery socks. Let's collect the data and then I'm going to let you guys loose with it to analyze it over the weekend, and you come back and you tell me if any of the guesses were unusual. So, heights. X. Frequencies. Let me hear some heights. What do we got?
6'2".
6'2", that would be 74. Anybody below 74? What do you got, Hay?
70.
70, so 6'10", or 5'10"? Anybody below 5'10"? 68, which is 5'8", if I did that correctly. Is anybody below 5'8"? Oh, I just tried to get baselines. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to put the pencils down. Don't get so defensive about it. So 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Anybody above 6'2"? Anybody above 6'2"? 6'2", you guys 6'3"? 6'3", 6'4"? Okay, cool. Awesome! You guys are more variant on the height than the weight. That's cool. I wonder if it's hair. It might be a dreadlock. So let's get some data. How many 68s? How many 5'8"s? 5'8"s, we got a couple? Couple 5'8"s? Okay. 5'9"s? 5'10"s? 5'11"s? 5'12". 6 foot. I guess it is 5'12". 2, 3. Oh, look at that, all in a row. 4. All good. 6'1". This is awesome. 6'2". Oh, this is a cool data set. And then you guys are 6'3" and 6'4". Anybody else at 6'3" and 6'4"? Fantastic. You know what I should do too? I never thought about this. I just thought about this. 2 other data sets that would be fun to look at bivariately would be correlating your weight guess with your height guess. Wouldn't that be fun to do? Unfortunately, I've lost it now.
No, but I'm kind of watching hands.
Uh-huh.
And from what I've seen when
And
they're
what you
shading
remember
up,
from,
the shorter people in the room are saying you're taller,
interesting.
or no, or saying you're shorter, and the taller people in the room are saying you're taller because of where they look at you in the room.
We don't have time to test that, that's freaking
But I
cool,
think
actually.
that's what.
Let's do a scatter plot of that on Tuesday, first thing. We'll slap, I'll have you guys put your guess for my height, if you're cool with this, and we'll do it anonymously, obviously. We'll put your height and my height, or your height and your guess for my height, into a scatter plot, and see if there's any kind of a predictable regression. That's where you would use 2 var stats, just so you know, because there are 2 data points there, your height and my height, and we're comparing to see if there's any kind of a relation between them. Which is more of a 244, but I want to test it now. I was also thinking if there's any, depending on where you're sitting in the room, distance from me, maybe if I'm sitting closer, I look taller because you have to crane your neck back more. I don't know. It could be. I'll probably just okay.
How tall are you?
We'll tell you on Tuesday.
Why can't you just?
You're driving me nuts though.
The suspense is
Suspense is killing you. Let me just come back. All right, so you have one homework assignment. Figure out if any of your guesses were unusually large or small based on that data set. Yay! Go team! You might want to start on that second project. It's due at the end of next week, but you might want to give it the old college try between now and then. So let me turn this off real quick, Harrison. Happy